Alrighty, we got Why Shark Tank Sucks Now from Sir W. Alright, what is going on with Shark Tank?
In the late 2000s, people viewed Shark Tank as more than just another reality TV show.
Hi, Sharks! Introducing lifted neurostimulation.
It was an outlet
I love Shark Tank when it first came out, dude. It was like seeing the not the inner workings, but like how like the old iceberg picture where you see like the top of the iceberg and that's the only part people see, but nobody sees like the bottom of the iceberg. Shark Tank was at least like a layer under the surface level of like the patent pending inventions that do or don't work like industry, and you could see it like unfold before your eyes, and it was just cool, man. It's like, oh, not every invention that someone makes it is always gonna be like a winner, like a viral piece of like knick-knack, like a fidget spinner. And it's like the first couple seasons were, that's why they were awesome, dude, because nobody had ever seen that, like the trial and error of like pitching like an item to like a bunch of like angel investors, more or less, and then going like, oh, we think this item will sell, we'll get with you, or we think your item sucks, I'm out. No one had ever seen anything like that, I think, because up until that point all we ever had was like QVC with like the lady and like the bar on the left side of your screen going like, this is the full payment price, and for 5 payments of $20 you could also get it. And then it was like all these other little knick-knack facts about it. That was like the closest thing. We never got to see like the trial and error of it.
for small-time entrepreneurs to pitch their idea to millions.
What did I just make, Andy?
Pyramid scheme?
Yeah.
I would spray you down with water, and every time you say I don't know, I'd hit you with an electric cattle prod.
In the hopes of getting a deal, making the big bucks, and living out the American dream.
Yeah.
That's what I love about money. No emotions, no tears, just reality.
But eventually viewers began to smell blood in the water, with murmurs of fake deals, sharks scamming the entrepreneurs, and vice versa.
Oh, I didn't know about this. Fake deals?
I'm like, you're supposed to be working. Oh no, I'm networking. Next thing you know, all the money's gone.
People began to wonder if they've been fooled. Is it all just reality TV makeup?
They're not these angels they're pretending to be.
Well, if you look at how the show used to be, the answer seems obvious. For example, in 2001, it's a totally different animal. Japan is just emerging from what they call the lost decade, a period of absolute economic ruin. The government sets up multiple initiatives to normalize risk-taking. One of these is a TV show created by Sony Entertainment and Nippon TV. They call it Tigers of Money.
I would like to have $250,000 to invest in my business.
Bro, this is like too real. Like there's no like entertainment factor to this. It's like, I want this and this. And this is how it's like edited on top of it. There's no entertainment factor, but I can see why the core concept of Shark Tank is there.
A business I would like to have is the first and only fast food pizza business in Japan.
Oh. That doesn't seem that bad. But like, then again, I don't know the culture of Japan. Like, do they even want that?
You can sit at home, call on your phone, and the pizza come there. If you can't eat the whole pizza, put it in the refrigerator, heat it up for later.
The premise is simple. Real people asking real investors for real money. Emphasis on real. These conversations sometimes stretch over 45 minutes.
The Japanese one was a little bit more like sort of Sergeant Major, you know, I'm the investor and you will do as I say.
Well, yeah, because that's just the culture of Japan over there. It's a little more formal than over here in America.
Somebody told.
No, okay, let me tell you why. Because no one has done it yet, doesn't mean that it's not successful.
皆さんにご説明したいのが
But it's a compelling premise, and the show gains a cult following.
The idea that the money might yield profit to the dragons was not really in the Japanese show. It was really more like a begging show in which business people begged for money, and if they were impressive enough, they got.
However,
I mean, isn't that what Shark Tank is? Whatever connotation you could stick on the word of whatever is happening between the entrepreneur and the angel investor, you could stick whatever word you want on there that's happening. Oh, they're just begging for money. Oh, they're pitching their business idea, their item, their product, or whatever. I mean, you call it whatever you want, but that act, that conversation, that's still happening. The issue is if it's done the right way, it can be entertaining, depending on how it's like edited and whatnot. But it seems, because I didn't know about that Japanese one, it seems like that's just the culture that they wanted to portray for what did they say the name of the show was? Money Dragons or Tigers of Money?
creators realize that this show has even bigger potential over in the West, where entrepreneurs are becoming the new rock stars. So they cut the negotiations down to the most important parts and make the format similar to familiar shows like The X Factor. In 2005, Dragon's Den premieres in the UK, and in 2006 in Canada.
Yeah, I remember Dragon's Den. Oh, look, there's Mr. Wonderful. Woohoo.
Canada.
Picture this. You're a single individual watching television alone. Wouldn't it be great if you could find like-minded individuals that love to travel and found each other on Travel Acquaintance? Travel Acquaintance is a unique, you're looking at it all the wrong way. It's
Really?
It's not a dating service. We're not going to provide you with action.
Why not? Well, why would I use your service?
See, Mr. Wonderful gets it. That is the funniest fucking shit. He's like, I gotta spice this shit up. He gets it. There needs to be a little more entertainment, some pizzazz, some wow factor into it.
Reviews are mixed, but it's clear the show doesn't resonate with audiences in either of those countries quite yet. So Sony decides to take the same trip our founding fathers once made, to a place where it most definitely will. Land of the free.
Oh boy.
Home of the My Pillow. In America, entrepreneurship is a cultural
also fuck that guy.
staple at this point. And after recently having some economic hardship of their own, the TV market is begging for something like this. Sony puts producer Mark Burnett in charge of creating the show.
With the executive producer of Shark Tank.
After having success with shows like Survivor and The Apprentice, which many argue paved the way for American competition shows, he's just the guy for the job.
Bro, Survivor Season 1. Oh my god. What was his name that won it initially? Richard Hatch, I think. He was like the dude that just kept on fishing. And everyone was like, well, don't vote the guy that fishes off. Because he always was like down there like spearfishing and shit. It's like, if we vote him off, we ain't got no food. And then... what a goated ass strategy.
It's about America. It's the American dream. You know, I've lived that American dream.
And in 2009, Shark Tank Season 1 premieres in the US. The show quickly skyrockets.
These ordinary people have the ideas, but these 5 self-made millionaires have the cash.
You give up 70% of your company.
And I think the reason it's resonated with fans is really largely the recession. So many people have lost jobs, and America is an entrepreneurial nation.
The show gives everyone a fair chance to prove they have the next big thing. Some show promise.
I think I'm gonna take Damon's deal.
Others show delusions of grandeur.
The Ionic Ear investment opportunity is a implantable Bluetooth technology. I'm looking for a
implantable Bluetooth. Bro, when was he pitching this? In 2000 and what? What did he say? 2001 he was pitching this shit? Bro. This was like Neuralink before Neuralink was Neuralink.
$1 million for
$8 million?
a 15% stake in the
Oh
technology.
yeah. Who would you rather handling your personal belongings? This unprofessional, unlicensed, uninsured mover, or these professionally trained enthusiastic college foxes packing boxes?
What the heck? There's no way that's real. Oh my god. Well, shit. Oh my god.
Either way, it's fun to watch, and apparently, it's even good for the community.
The problem is, right now, these people cannot get bank loans. I mean, you can barely get a mortgage right now, right, in 2010, 2011. And so certainly getting a small business loan is almost impossible. For many of these entrepreneurs with incredible ideas, these sharks are the last chance.
However, Mark Cuban's arrival in season 2 flips everything on its head, and fans get their first hint that the show might not be as charitable as advertised.
Oh yeah, because like at the time it was only these guys were like the little sharks, and then once Mark Cuban came on, he was like the big shark. So everybody wanted to do business with Mark easily.
The minute we brought Mark Cuban, our first billionaire, onto the show, everything changed.
Two contestants who refuse offers to be on the show reveal that it's because at the back of their contract is a clause that states every contestant has to give the production either 2% of all their profits or 5% equity in their company.
What?
To be on the show reveal that it's because at the back of their contract is a clause that states every contestant has to give the production either
to the production company. According to the clause, all contestants were required to give Phineas, Filmax, Shark Tank's production company either 2% of their profits or 5% equity in their company. This rule applied regardless of the deal struck with the investors, and all contestants since season 1 were obliged to agree to it. So this is like a cover charge. This is like a buy-in for like their company. It's like, oh, I could say so long to 5%. So already, like without even having to strike a deal, you're just 5% out. Okay, so you're like, okay, maybe I could give away another 10 to 15% for however like much money they like I want, but then the sharks are always gonna try to what do they do? They always try to get like more equity for less money. So the sharks are always like trying to get like 20, 30, 40, 50% of the damn company. I did not know about this little clause.
2% of all their profits or 5% equity in their company. Most savvy entrepreneurs wouldn't be willing to give an automatic stake in their company just for appearing on the show. Mark hears about this and is outraged. He gives ABC an ultimatum. Either they remove the clause or he walks. Fortunately, they fold under the pressure and remove it.
Damn. That's power right there. That's power. Because he realizes what a dog shit fucking clause that is. Let's see. Mark Cuban made Shark Tank change its contracts after threatening to not to return until an equity clause was removed from contestants' contracts. Mark Cuban finally got his way. He's looking out for the little guy. Wow. I did not know about that. That's pretty cool. Massive W.
And Mark posts about his victory on Facebook. Fans applaud, but it turns out this isn't the only case where the show slighted entrepreneurs. In 2013, former NFL player Al Bubba Baker goes on Shark Tank to get help for his struggling boneless rib business.
Sadly, I married a woman that doesn't like ribs because they're too messy. So I vowed to find a way for my wife to be able to enjoy ribs. But how do you make ribs less messy? You take the bones out.
The show was putting itself out there as the American dream.
And the purpose for marketing and, gaining capital, because that was a hard thing for us to do back around 2012. We had just come out of a bad economy.
His pitch is flawless, and he gets 2 offers.
So my offer is very simple. I'll give you the $300,000, but I want 49%.
That idea is so brilliant, I'll do the exact same deal, but I'll only take 30%.
Bam, Kevin.
This greedy savage, his deal is horrible.
He's never done a deal like this.
Al, let me clear it up for you. I think you're paying a very expensive price for somebody to make a phone call for you that you could do on your own.
Ultimately, he goes with Damon John's offer of $300,000 for 30%.
Dang.
Well, he already had me at the first taste of the ribs, but then when he pulled out, the cherry on top was Kevin O'Leary, who, who's really not a bright guy, was interested into it, and I knew that I can make a profit, and at the same time is stabbing Kevin O'Leary.
3 years go by.
Bro, I think another aspect of why that show was so successful is seeing the sharks like fight each other and just argue with each other, regardless of how fake or real it is. I mean, it's probably all for the most part just fake and whatever, like throwaway. It's awesome whenever I tune into like one of those and I just start seeing them talk shit to each other. That's the best. Because the overall vibe is like, I mean, it's still kind of like begging from the entrepreneur to the sharks. So they're going to say whatever they can to like get a deal going. But it's the sharks that that really make the show. And like how, depending on how they feel that day, how much shit talk they want to spew.
And on the surface, Bubba's living the dream, and Damon is parading the business around as a $16 million success story. However, all the way in 2023, the Los Angeles Times comes out with a report where Bubba and his family claim that behind the scenes, what began as their Shark Tank dream has been a nightmare.
We thought we were on our way up, and unfortunately, it's been a downhill battle.
But before I just take the report at face value, I want to run it by the sponsor of today's video, Ground News. Today we're being fed information faster than we can chew, and algorithms dictate what information we're even shown in the first place.
Yeah.
Usually the goal there is to reinforce our biases. Now, if you're like me, you probably don't like being told what to think. You want to know what's in the Kool-Aid before you drink it. Ground News has you covered. App and website that gathers news articles from all around the world and all across the political spectrum, putting them all in one place. For each story, they'll tell you what percent of the coverage is left, right, or center leaning, as well as which way you lean based on stories that you're reading. On top of that, you get details about each individual news source, like their political leaning, their factuality rating, and who actually owns the company. They also have something called the blind spot feature, which shows you stories only being covered by one side of the political spectrum. For instance, this story about hedge funds anticipating a stock market decline is only being covered by the right. And this story about Elon Musk is only being covered by the left and center. If you want to know more about your biases and the biases of the people feeding you information every day, a good place to start would be ground.news/SirW, which you can find in the description or the pinned comment to save 40% on the same Vantage plan I use for unlimited access to all their features. You're also helping me do more of what I do on this channel. Now back to Bubba. Apparently the problems start right after they finish filming the episode. Damon suddenly changes his offer to $100,000 for 35%.
Oh shit. Pray I don't alter the deal any further. Oh my god. That's some Darth Vader ass shit right there.
If you're in that environment, you're not asking a lot of questions, he said. It's Damon John. My wife and daughter would have killed me if I said I wasn't signing this.
She said, hey, Dad, our future's in your hands.
No pressure at all.
Damon then introduces Bubba to his friend Nate, a former Shark Tank contestant turned close colleague.
Damon, I'd be crazy to not want a partner like you. I accept 100%.
My man.
Who's gonna deal with all the technology stuff? You know, the website, the advertisements, the bank accounts. We had never even sold.
And what? So are the sharks just like doing this like all the time? Like saying one thing on the TV, but then whenever the cameras aren't rolling, they just change the deal? It's because they don't have to face any repercussions or they don't have to like take any accountability for changing the deal. Like what happens on the TV is it's all it is. It's TV. It's entertainment. There's nothing real about it. The only thing that matters is what happens when people start putting pen to paper. Signatures. Right? And because they can just lie outright on TV and face no consequences, they feel it's okay to do that.
One bottle of sauce on the internet. This was gonna be the genius to set us up. However, he only creates problems. First, on the day their episode is supposed to air, the website isn't ready to go until 3 hours beforehand. And while they do end up making around $250,000 in online orders, they have to refund nearly 14% of that because Nate fails to set up sales tax. Nate also has control over
Oh, well, that guy's a bonehead.
The business bank account, ignoring Bubba's requests for statements. When Bubba complains to Damon, he reportedly shrugs it off. I'm not asking you to kiss him. This is just business. Finally, the Bakers decide they don't want Nate a part of their business anymore.
There were a lot of red flags with him, and it took us some time to convince Damon to have him removed from our business.
When he eventually does leave, he decides to take one more thing with him. the baker's bank account.
He wiped out our business bank account. There was about $100,000 in there at the time.
Oh,
and
shit.
he mailed us a check
Bro, what a scumbag.
for $8,000.
That's not good. They ask Damon where the rest of the money went, and he says Nate deserved it.
People are probably like, why didn't you just stop with Nate? And it was because of me, because it was my dream and my goal. And my dad's favorite saying is always, I'd rather be the yeoman on a smooth sailing ship than the captain of a sunken ship.
Unfortunately, Nate is the least of their problems. 2 years go by, and Damon is parading the business around as a $16 million success story. He says it's one of his biggest deals ever. But there's one problem. The bakers say they ultimately receive just 4% of that $16 million. And that's not all. After a $5.8 million deal with Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, the bakers yield a total of $2,900. Well, that's a problem.
Well, bro, I'd be salty as fuck after that too. Like, what the fuck?
Thinking to ourselves, hey, Damon, aren't you concerned with where the profits went from the $5.8 million deal? So we're thinking he's going to align with us to try to figure out a breakdown of where this money went from $5.8 million. Instead, Damon John band together with the co-packer, Rastelli Foods, to file a lawsuit against us because they wanted to move forward with a Subway deal.
Rastelli Foods Group is a family business with family values, family ethics. We have to make a
I mean, it doesn't seem like it.
very clear distinction. No one works for Rastelli.
Yes, they do.
With Rastelli.
I mean, it doesn't matter how you say it. What? Oh, really? You have like a different contract on paper? Really? What a bonehead.
Very clear distinction.
The bakers say they're completely shut out of negotiations and accuse both Damon John and Rastelli Foods of trying to take over their business.
But you never knew at one time how much revenue you were actually generating.
Absolutely not. And there was no way for us to like log into a bank account and see, oh, okay, the product cost this much, the expenses were this much, the storage was this much.
Eventually, they come to a deal to settle the whole Carl's Jr. situation, and the bakers have to sign a confidentiality agreement. However, by 2019, legal fees pile up. The bakers are forced to sell their house at a loss, Bubba's restaurant closes, and his truck is repossessed. So in a last-ditch effort to try and get back what they feel is theirs, they break the confidentiality agreement and go public with everything.
Good. That's the best thing that they could have done. Settle it in the court of public opinion.
Needless to say, Damon isn't happy, especially since at the same time he's trying to break off his affiliation with Nate.
Nate Holzefeld admitted to fraud and sexual misconduct in a deal meant to keep him out of prison and off the sex offender registry.
Who was sentenced to 15 years in prison for multiple counts of sexual battery and having a side hustle where he would get girls on Tinder to sign their houses over to him.
What the fuck? What? Sign your house over to me? And then what are you going to do with it? Like, how is he able to do that? And number two, like, who are the people that are doing it? Are they that stupid?
Which he would then sell.
Unfortunately, the way this system works is that you do get a little bit hung before you're even tried. Innocent until proven guilty in America, and in part, thanks to KSL.
Well, you pleaded guilty.
Damon posts a video in response to the bakers.
I'm making this video to address this LA Times article that Al Bubba Baker and Brittany Baker intentionally broke their confidentiality and put out and shopped to this reporter. And at best, it's not true, and that's me being kind. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I want you to always stand up for yourself, no matter what position you get in life, just like I am. Don't sit back and think, oh, the truth is going to set us free because I have the truth, but I'm under confidentiality and I can't put the truth out there in detail. But public opinion also could potentially affect your family, your...
Yeah, but also NDAs don't protect you from doing crime. If you do a crime, but you signed an NDA, that doesn't protect you.
Loved ones, the people that have worked on this project and invested in it. When your family's out there and because of public opinion, these people now, after the LA Times article is out, they're online damn near harassing me at this point and putting up a lot of falsities, and I will not stand for that.
He files a...
Why would I give a shit about what some like multi-millionaire in the trials and tribulations of his life, like what he's going through. I mean, I really don't care. You live in a bubble, dude. Who gives a shit?
Permanent restraining order on the bakers prohibits them from making any future disparaging comments and forcing them to remove all previous ones. However, in their lawsuit against him, he ends up paying them settlement money.
Practically speaking, to me, to an outsider to that situation, but someone well-versed in lawsuits, the fact that John paid the bakers settlement money, to me, that means he probably did mistreat them in some way. Now,
Yeah, probably.
maybe he didn't, but again, that doesn't mean that they can now talk bad about him, because if he said that he'd pay them for, at least in part, silence, then they just got to shut it up.
Bubba's not the only one to run into a problem like this.
I mean, if you read the article, there was 2 or 3 other companies in that article.
As the years go on, the audience gets bigger, and so do a lot of other things.
I mean, it's a beast of a machine for distribution. So I've just found the deals are getting better and better every year, and this year, they're incredible. And the size of the investments we can make, because the companies have sales.
The publicity factor alone becomes a huge draw.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I'm on the show, I'll be
Yeah, I remember multiple times people that went on Shark Tank and then came off it, and then I saw like some random ass video. It's like, yeah, I didn't go on there to make a deal. Actually, they like made up some bullshit ass deal of like, I want like $5 million for 2% of my company. Anything less than I'm out of here. Like stupid ass deals like that. They only went on there to like market their business. Because that's like one of the best ways to like market. Like if you have like a lot of like nuts and bolts and machines like already in place, and you just need people to like see your product and figure out whether or not they want to buy it, going on Shark Tank is the best way to get the word out there. Because so many people watch it. I mean, I don't really know like how many people watch it now, but yeah, for like there was a good chunk of time couple years ago where everyone was glued to their TVs, dude.
accepting any offer necessary to get the happy edit in the victory music. That just becomes...
It was, if I'm ever on the show, I will be accepting any offer necessary in order to get the happy edit and the victory music. That becomes a 15-minute primetime ABC commercial that would otherwise cost me millions of dollars. Then it gets replayed for years around the world in reruns, worth tens of millions more. Every shark has to say positive things in perpetuity, and I'll probably get one of those shimmery updates after a couple years. Nobody needs to know that we rewrote 99% equity for $1 deal after the cameras were off. Dang, dude. Miss Diem? Yeah. Dang. 99% equity for $1.
Becomes a 15-minute primetime ABC commercial that would otherwise cost me millions of dollars. Then it gets replayed around the world in reruns, costing tens of millions more. This ends up coming around to bite the shark.
Oh, wow. People quickly realize the meta. Oh my god, that's the meta for the damn show. Hey sharks, here's 99% of my business, and I'll give it to you for $1. So then all these sharks are like, oh god, okay, I'll offer you. So what did the sharks come back with? Okay, I'll give it to you for $1, and then if the other shark wants it, really wants it, like, I'll offer you $10. And then it goes into like an auctioning thing, essentially. Like you start at the lowest possible number and it just goes up.
In the end, in 2013, the tank sees a pitch so good that all 5 sharks invest. Breathometer. Breathometer. It takes the concept of a
I remember this one.
and turns it into another physical device that relies on an app to function.
And then it turns your phone into a real functioning breathalyzer.
Who would want to carry one of these bulky old breathalyzers around?
No one.
So that's why I created Breathometer.
I'm still not putting this in my pocket, man. The sharks take the bait.
Yeah.
Each of them pitching in hundreds of thousands of dollars.
From the entire team of the Sharks. I'm ecstatic right now. I have no words. I'm shocked.
But soon it becomes clear Charles isn't quite the entrepreneur they thought he was.
The guy, Charles, I look at his Instagram and he'd be in Bora Bora.
And I look at his Instagram.
this guy's
Oh,
fucking
shit. Yes.
What?
2 weeks later, and he's be in Vegas partying, then he'd be on.
Wait, is this even like a real item thing? Breathometer. Is a company initially recognized? Blah blah blah. Where's like the actual website? Is it still like a thing? Wait, let me see. Okay, no. I think it's still a thing.
Necker Island with Richard Branson, and I text him like, "What the?" Yeah, so that was my biggest beating.
Do you blow up?
Oh, all of a sudden, the random nobody decided to start living like he had some money, and then all the other sharks got offended that he started traveling and shit once he got the deal. Wow, what a bunch of hypocritical bullshit, dude. Rules for thee, but not me. Stupid.
Up on these guys, or you just say fuck
There's
it?
no point. Yeah, there's no point. It ain't gonna change. Ain't gonna.
Maybe he was testing the product though.
Maybe he was testing.
Probably testing the product.
This would be a fair explanation. However, this is where things get even worse.
And the most important question is, are you safe to drive?
No, it turns out the device
Yeah.
is having problems of its own.
What? That's how you do it? You just breathe on it, but then there's like air coming out of the side or whatever. What the fuck? I didn't know that's how you like actually do it. Actual breathalyzers, you got that little plastic straw you blow everything into. But then again, I could easily see reason that like concentrating your entire like breath into the straw could be like, oh, it's not like a good accurate measurement because it's concentrated. But having this like little just breathe on the little device thing, it's like, well, obviously there's like a escapage or whatever, there's leakage, seepage. Well, it's like, well, this doesn't really look accurate either. So which is it? Is this one the more accurate one, or the little straw that concentrates everything the more accurate one?
It's analyzing my breath right now, my whiskey breath. And it gave me a .00.
Wow.
Apparently, I have not had a single thing to drink.
Oh. It's just straight up. Well, I don't even know how that shit works. Like, does it take like X amount of time for like the alcohol to like go into your stomach, get absorbed, and then go into your bloodstream, and then you breathe out on it? Like, I don't know how long that takes for it to like recognize or whatever, but obviously it doesn't seem like it's doing its job.
So that's actually one of my critiques of this thing.
In 2016, the FTC calls Charles, telling him they've received numerous complaints of false advertising.
Oh.
That he needs to take the breathalyzer feature off of his breathalyzer app. Breathometer settles with the FTC over deceptive advertising.
Federal Trade Commission slams smartphone breathalyzer for false claims.
Of course, his angel investors wouldn't be too happy to hear this.
When we started this journey with you, it was breathometer. We were testing alcohol levels in blood.
Uh-huh.
Now the information coming out of the company is almost completely different. New product line, new direction, new partners. What happened to breathometer? Is it still going to sell? Are you going to continue developing it? Or are you just going to throw it off the slate?
Rather than shutting down the operation, Breathometer, the breathalyzer company, decides to change markets.
Essentially, Breathometer is a breath analysis platform.
What?
Breath analysis platform. Bro, I could do that like right now and figure out whether or not my breath stinks. Like, and do that. I don't need to buy no stupid ass little device or whatever to tell me my breath stinks. Are you kidding me?
We were looking to expand and go really deep into alcohol, but we realized that there was a much larger opportunity, like oral health. So we're moving into things like oral health care, hydration, fat burning, asthma, even you can go as far as diabetes and lung cancer. I basically can range and apply breath detection to a variety of things. Everything is extreme as to lung cancer, to diabetes.
Really? Like, how? How does your breath I don't know what he's analyzing about breath even. He's just like saying a bunch of bullshit about breath. Like, how is it supposed to detect lung cancer?
In the end, this doesn't work, and Breathometer is forced to refund all the customers. The lesson learned here: while the money certainly helped Charles's case, the publicity is all he needed to get his product off the ground. A shark recommending a product is basically a celebrity endorsement, and having packaging with the as seen on Shark Tank logo is enough for any product to fly off store shelves. Charles isn't the only person to take advantage of this.
Here's a really important message. Please pay attention. There are hundreds of scam ads out there using my name, my face, and these scammers are getting good. They're saying things like this.
Hello, Shark Tank here. I'm Lori Greiner. Dive deeper with the shark effect.
Oh, this is like some AI shit, but yeah, and AI is even better now than it was back then.
Tune into our genuine keto secret. Hi everyone, Shark Tank here. Today I will share a secret method on how to lose weight as quickly as possible without dieting or going to the gym. This is our only officially licensed product.
Yeah, like this like, because the video's like kind of blurry or whatever, like I don't think it's like 1080 or whatever. You can kind of get away with like the mouth flaps being a little like wonky. But for the most part, this would fool my mom. 100%, dude. This would fool a lot of people's moms.
Shark Tank in the house.
They are fake. They are scam ads. Do not pay attention.
Remember in season 1 when they had this intro?
These ordinary people have the ideas, but these 5 self-made millionaires have the cash.
Well, as the years go on, more and more of the contestants have both the ideas and the cash, and don't need much financial help at all.
The Lark bottle is the world's first self-cleaning water bottle.
I have a couple of these.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Great.
You do?
That is awesome.
I do.
We raised our first round of venture capital in 2013 after we launched the app. And then we raised our second round in 2015.
What has happened is we've gotten more and more sophisticated applicants, that most entrepreneurs that walked in the door in season 1 and 2 were asking for $10,000, $20,000, had no sale, but had a simple product and a dream in their hand.
The producers and sharks see it as a good thing. However, as the years go on, it becomes a noticeable trend. Longtime fans start to protest the change.
Oh, wait. Oh, all the app-based... Wait, let me read this. All the app-based pitches are so boring and predictable. I miss the days of people having an innovative, tangible product that was still in the startup phase, not already making hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, and they were on the show for a genuine chance of a lifetime. All the businesses now are already established and don't seem to really need a shark to launch or survive. I miss the days when it was about people who were truly getting started and needed help, instead of now everyone already having a $1 million+ valuation out of the gate. This show isn't aspirational or relatable anymore. Wow. And I 100% see that. Like, one of the most notable segments that I remember was that the farm guy who wanted to like get the sharks to invest in his company, and he sold like little plastic cones that you put around like on like the bottom of your like little tiny plant in order to like keep like the moisture in or whatever. And he was like, he wanted to charge like like $10 for like, or like $5 a cone, but it only cost him like $250 to make the cone. But I think he only wanted to charge like, I forgot, like if it was like $250 to make, and then it was like, I don't know, $5 or $10 he wanted to sell them for. But the sharks were like, well, why don't you sell them for like $20 a pop? But then he's like, well, why would I do that? And this was just like two people staring at each other, both thinking the other person had 5 heads. It's like, well, so you make more money. And then he came back with like, but I'm selling to farmers. These people are going to buy them in bulk anyway. Like, farmers are like one of the cornerstones of America. Why would I hamstring them even more so? Well, because it's business. But yeah, I'm already making enough if I'm selling them at like $5 or $10. But you could be making more. And it was just like this weird back and forth on that little section. But it ended up like the dude, like everyone was like crying at the end or whatever. But I think that segment alone encapsulates like everything that was supposed to be like what the show like meant. But I get it. Like once people figure out the meta, it's like, oh, make the bit, because I mean, even the Sharks don't really want to make a business deal with someone that doesn't know dick about ass about business. They don't. They say it all the time. This person isn't like far enough along in their business like lifespan for us to really, they don't want to do a lot of work. They just want to throw money out there and, just call it a day. So once people figured that out, it was only, it's kind of just natural to and like believable to see that like everyone picks up on the meta of what the Sharks are willing to say yes to and what they are willing to say no to. You pretty much have, this paragraph sums it up. You have to like more or less have to be established already. And it's like, oh, we're just doing this for marketing, guys. Okay, you got to get the happy music and some sort of deal with our stupid little app. Like, okay, great. This is the American dream. But it seems that, because I remember like a couple times when like watching random episodes where it was like, our app does this, our app does that. And at the end of the episode, I was like, why is everybody making apps? I was like, this is the stupidest shit ever.
It's the old days when it was about people who were truly getting started and needed help, instead of everyone already having $1 million+ valuation at the gate.
I'd like to thank you all for letting me take a dip in your tank. I've mortgaged my home twice. I've taken my kids' college funds, my 401k, all my savings, and amount of debt on my credit cards.
Wow. Stop right there.
The show has jumped the shark.
Damn. To say that, regardless of how true or not it is, he probably could have just as easily lied to say some of that shit to get the tears flowing and whatnot, because stuff like that also does great as well, no matter like the product. Like what if he was selling like some sort of like shitty stupid ass like fidget spinner V10 that nobody gives a shit about? All right, as long as he sells you that type of story, you're gonna be like, oh wow, I feel so bad, that guy's so genuine. All right, as long as you can make your little segment like emotional and entertaining in some way, that's what's gonna stick with people. Not so much the product, maybe some parts about the product, but just evoke some sort of like emotional thing out of the Sharks, out of the audience that's going to be watching the episode.
It used to be these tiny companies that truly needed the investment and expertise from the Sharks. Now, if you don't have millions already in sales, a client base of 30,000 customers, etc., they don't even bat an eye at you.
Yeah.
Or it's already a decent-sized company who clearly plans to not take any deal and just exploits the show for massive free advertising. Today, the show's viewership is strong as ever.
Excited to be here today, all of us Sharks and Dragons and Lions, and so humbled to be invited by the United Nations to learn about the Sustainable Development Goals and how we can contribute.
At the end of the day,
Sustainable Development Goals. Oh, wow. Everybody you hate is right there in one spot. Wow.
this is reality TV, so it's all about entertainment. Plus today there's plenty of other ways entrepreneurs can secure funding. As for publicity, there's always social media, and as we've learned, it's probably best that people with less experience stay away from the show, for their own sake. But comment and let me know what you think about all that, and subscribe.
According to Forbes, the
Dang.
average 9 to 5 employee...
Stop it. Go back.
Right, and this story...
Well, I was kind of like unaware of like what was happening with Shark Tank. I didn't really realize that meta for getting on there existed. Like, I didn't really realize that was the trend, but I kind of had like, I just got bored of the show. and I don't know why. I just ended up getting bored, but like that video probably sold me on like why it sucks, because I don't know, I'm just not like as interested anymore. I mean, you saw all the little paragraphs. I mean, just be established, have a customer base already, and you're just going on there for like marketing purposes. It's like, oh, if that's all you care about, you could do whatever, but I'm not too interested. Like, cause I stopped watching TV and like many years ago, and like I don't know, maybe sometimes I'll watch like an episode like this of like the little Shark Tank YouTube, but I don't really like watch it like at all. Yeah, I'm just not too interested. What's the vibes? I mean, everybody liked the video. Hearing AI Bubba Parker's journey, or Al Bubba AI journey was emotional. It's devastating to see someone's hard work and passion stripped away for the sake of profit. I hope they find strength and a path to recovery. Yeah, the show needs more bad products. Watching the sharks tear down terrible ideas and borderline scams is part of what makes the show entertaining. Ooh, that is a good spin on it. Trying to find the fake actors, the fake dog shit people, the scam artists. Yeah, I mean, that's just another facet, but what are you going to do? We like your app, but we don't like this other app. I mean, understandably, it's not all about like apps. You know, there's some products that are out there, but it doesn't take a genius to like watch a couple episodes, get a little accumulative, what do you call it? Like information, see what kind of things the sharks are looking for, and it's like, oh, okay, they usually like businesses that fit into these little statistics. So unless you have a business that like fits in there, you're probably up shit creek. So yeah, but other than that, it was a good video, dude. For sure. Keep it up, man. Yeah, but other than that, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.